Hi guys, so in this video we're going to look at algebraic fractions and how to manipulate them, simplify them, add them, multiply them and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. So let's get to it. First of all, what is an algebraic fraction? Well, it's just a fraction that contains some algebra in it. So you can see here 2x minus 1 over 3, 3x plus 1 over x squared minus 2x plus 3, etc, etc. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at how to simplify algebraic fractions, and we're going to look at this as an example. Okay, so what we have here is x squared minus 3x divided by x squared minus 2x minus 3. Now the whole key to this is factorization. So whenever we look at simplifying algebraic fractions or even added them, what we're looking to do is to get it into its factors if at all possible. If we have a look here, so let's just rewrite this. We've got x squared minus 3x all over x squared minus 2x minus 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can factorize the top here. So you can see that there's an x in both of these terms, so I can take the x out and I'm going to end up with x by x minus 3. Double check it. We can see that x by x gives me the x squared and x times negative 3 gives me the minus 3x. Now the second one is a bog standard quadratic, so that can go to two brackets. So we've got x and x, and remember what we're trying to do is we're trying to find two numbers that multiply to make minus 3 and add to make minus 2. So hopefully you can see that this is going to be minus 3 and plus 1. Double check it. We can see that x by x gives me the x squared, and then we have minus 3 times positive 1 gives us the minus 3, minus 3x here, plus an x, minus 3x plus 1x is minus 2x, which is what we're looking for. Now, once we've done that, you can see that we have x by x minus 3 on the top and x minus 3 by x plus 1 on the bottom. This has now been fully factorized. Everything is written in terms of multiples. This is x times x minus 3. This is x minus 3 times x plus 1. Once we have at this stage, now we can start simplifying. So what we're looking for is common factors on both top and bottom. So you can see you have an x minus 3 here and also an x minus 3 here. Now you might have heard of the term cancelling, so we're going to cancel the x minus 3's. What in fact we are doing is we are factoring, and we are dividing both top and bottom by the same factor, which in this case is x minus 3. If we do that, what happens is I'm going to divide by x minus 3. If I divide x minus 3 by x minus 3 on the top, I get 1. Likewise, if I do it on the bottom, I get 1 as well. So what I'm left with now is x times 1 on the top, which is x over x plus 1 on the bottom. Now a lot of people get a little bit confused here and think because we have an x on the top here and an x on the bottom here, that we can cancel or factor these out. In fact, we can't. And the reason is the fact that what we have here is we have x plus 1 and these aren't multiplied together. So that means, unlike up here where you can see x by x minus 3, x minus 3 by x plus 1, what we have is we have a plus 1 here. That's why we can't factor it out. So this now has been fully simplified. Okay, so let's have a look at multiplying algebraic fractions. Multiplying algebraic fractions is just like you would normally do if it was just numbers. We'll just have a quick look at the numbers. If I said to you 2/5 multiplied by 1/3, all you do here is you'd multiply the tops together, 2 times 1, the numerators, and you multiply the denominators together to get 5 times 3 is 15. So 2 times 1 is 2, 5 times 3 is 15, and simplify if at all possible. Well, we're going to do exactly the same. It's just going to be algebra. And like I said before, what we try to do, is to get everything in terms of its factors, first of all. So let's have a look at the first one. We've got x squared plus 2x minus 3 all over x squared minus 4 multiplied by 2x plus 4 all over 3x minus 3. Now, one big mistake that a lot of people make is they just get this and they then try and multiply it out by this, and you're going to end up with x to the power of 3's and all sorts of horrible nastiness. Don't do that. You have to factorize it. So we can factorize this. This is a quadratic, so it's going to be two brackets. So let's sort that out. We've got x and x. We're looking for two numbers to make negative 3. two numbers that add up to make 2. So multiply to make -3 and add to make +2. And hopefully you can see the answer to that is +3 and -1. We've also got underneath this x squared minus 4. This is a difference of 2 squares. If you are not sure, you go to the side here, you can see that x squared minus 4 is exactly the same as x squared minus 2 squared. And that there is a difference of 2 squares. So we've got x minus 2 by x plus 2. There's a video on this in one of my other videos if you want to check that out if you're not sure. So we can change that for x plus 2 and x minus 2. Remember, order doesn't matter here because it's multiplication. We've then got times. We're going to fully factorize this. Hopefully you can see that this isn't a quadratic, so we're going to take out the 2. Because 2 goes into both 2x and 4, so times by 2. We've got x plus 2 here. I'm going to do exactly the same to the bottom. We're going to take out 3. We've got 3x minus 1 on the bottom. So you can see here 2x, 2 by x gives me the 2x, 2 times 2 gives me the plus 4. Likewise, we can take 3 out of both terms on the bottom here, 3x and negative 3. 3 times x gives me the 3x, 3 times minus 1 gives me the negative 3. From here, hopefully you can see that everything now is multiplied or been broken up into its factors. We have this multiplied by this, multiplied by 2, multiplied by x plus 2. Again, here we have x plus 2, multiplied by x minus 2, multiplied by 3, x minus 1. Remember, for fractions, when we multiply them, we multiply the tops together and the bottoms together. So now that we have it written in its factors, what we need to do is see are there common factors on both the top of the fraction and the bottom of the fraction. If that's the case, then we can factor or cancel them out. So let's have a look first of all at x plus 3. There's no x plus 3 on the bottom, so we'll leave that as it is. We'll have a look now at x minus 1. Well, we can see x minus 1 here and there's x minus 1 there. So we can factor that out and change them to 1s. The next thing is the 2. So you can see there's no 2 here, here or here. And the last one we're going to check is the x plus 2 on the top there. And that factors out with the x plus 2 here. We now rewrite and change around if we wish. So we're going to put the 2 here in front of the x plus 3 because it just looks neater. So we now have 2 lots of x plus 3 on the top. And on the bottom we have 3 lots of x minus 2 left. And just double check, make sure there's no factors left. We can see that x plus 3 nor 2 are factors of the denominator. Okay, let's have a look at part 2. So part 2, this one's a little bit easier actually. What we have is x plus 1 multiplied by, so I'll just put a dot there for multiplied by, over 5 over x plus 1 by x plus 2. Okay, this seems to be near enough fully factorised. We're happy that if we want to, we can put this and multiply 5 by it, so we put the 5x in front. You could rewrite it if you wish to have it like this. Some people prefer this. So 5x by x plus 1 over x plus 1, x plus 2. Now we have it with the form that we have over here. Again, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Is there anything that's on both top and bottom? Let's have a look. 5, no, there's no 5 on the bottom. X, no, there's no x on the bottom. X plus 1, yes, there's an x plus 1 there. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor it out or cancel it. Put 1 for each of them. And then we're just going to tidy it up and double check again. So we've got 5x over x plus 2. And quick check, is the 5? No. X, no. This is x plus 2 on the bottom. It's not written in terms of multiples, so I can't remember, I cannot just factor out this x and this x. Okay, adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. So I'm just going to go to the side again to show you what we would do if we were just adding normal fractions. So if, for example, if we had a third plus a fifth. Now this goes back to second year maths, and every maths teacher will obviously tell you that in order to add fractions we need the denominators to be the same. So you'd go to the side, you'd make a common denominator, and the easy way to get a common denominator is to multiply these together. So we're going to get 15, and that means that we now need each of these denominators to be equal to 15. In order to do that, we need to multiply the 3 by the 5. And another rule that you've probably be hearing all the time is whatever you do to the bottom of a fraction, you have to do to the top of a fraction. So that means we have to multiply that by 5. Likewise, multiply by 3, and then tidy it up. So hopefully you can see that's 5 over 15 plus 3 over 15. We can then combine the numerators and denominators, 5 plus 3, and that's still over 15, and then work out what's on top, and that's going to be 8 over 15, and we're finished. We're going to do exactly the same with the algebraic fraction on the left, and it's really, really important that what we do is that we factorize as much as we can before we start looking at the common denominator. So just write it out again. So we've got 3 over x squared plus x minus 2 minus 2 over x squared minus 1. So you don't automatically multiply these together to find the common denominator like we did over here. We're going to factorize first. Okay, so we have to factorize this and this. Now the first one we should be okay with because it's a quadratic. So x and x, and it goes. And we're trying to make minus 2, so it's going to be plus 1 minus 2, or minus 1 plus 2. So we can see here it's going to be plus 2 minus 1. Okay, double check it. So x times x, obviously x squared, minus 1 times 2 is minus 2. And we're trying to make 1x when we add them together. So we've got plus 2x here, and we've got minus x here. 2x minus x gives us the positive x. So minus 2. And you've got to spot these. This is a difference of 2 squares. X squared minus 1 is exactly the same as x squared minus 1 squared, because 1 squared is obviously equal to 1. The rule for the difference of 2 squares is if we have x squared minus y squared, then that's equal to x plus y by x minus y. So what we do is we just take whatever's in front of the square, write it out twice, and put a plus and a minus. So this is going to be x and 1. So we're going to write that down now. So it's going to be x, 1, x and 1. And it's going to be plus and minus. Remember, it doesn't make any difference which order we do it. We could have done minus and plus because it's multiplication. So this multiplied by this, doesn't matter what order it's in. Now we're going to look to see what the common denominator is in this particular one. And hopefully you can see, guys, that we have x minus 1 is common to both. We've got x plus 1 here and x plus 2. So altogether, we're going to have a common denominator here of x plus 2, x minus 1, and x plus 1. So you can see here, that covers the x plus 2. X minus 1 is covered. It's also covered here. And x plus 1, which now means you can see here, I have this expression as my common denominator. Okay, so we're going to do exactly what we did with the numbers. Here we had to change it. Let's get it to the common denominator by multiplying by 5. And if you look here, we already have x plus 2 and x minus 1. So we already have those parts on the denominator. The only extra bit we need is the x plus 1. So that means we've got to multiply this fraction here, both top and bottom, by x plus 1. So I'll do that now. So we end up with, and use brackets as well, guys. So we're going to end up with x plus 1 on the top, and that means we're also going to have x plus 1 on the bottom. Likewise, if we look at the second fraction, we have x plus 1 and x minus 1 on the bottom. X plus 1, x minus 1 is here, so we need x plus 2 to be on the bottom. So if we multiply by x plus 2 on the bottom, we have to multiply by x plus 2 on the top, and we now have this common denominator. So the next thing we're going to do is combine the tops, and we're going to end up with 3x plus 1 minus 2 lots of x plus 2 on the top, and that's all over the common denominator now of x plus 1, x minus 1, and x plus 2. Now we're not going to do anything with the denominator. This is fully factorized, which is great, and now what we're going to do is just tidy up the top. So we're going to multiply out the brackets to get 6x plus 3 minus 2x and minus 4. Again, that's all over x plus 1 by x minus 1, and x plus 2. Let's just, again, continue to tidy up the top there. We've got 6x take away 2x here, so 6x minus 2x is going to give us 4x. And we've got minus 4 and plus 3, so plus 3 minus 4. So we're going to get minus 1 on the top over x plus 1, x minus 1, and x plus 2. Forgot a bracket there. And that is now done. Okay, this is the last example. A lot of people struggle with this. So what I generally do when I'm teaching this is I break it up into two, deal with them, and then come back and finish it off. So if we have a look at the first one here, and I'm going to have a look at the second one here, which I'm just going to do in red. Okay, so if we go underneath and we put x minus 1 minus 2 over x here, you can see here the problem is that I do not have a common denominator, and I need to have a common denominator so I can combine these and put them all over a common denominator. Hopefully you can see here that I can, if I wish, put that 1 over 1, and that there is x over 1. Therefore my common denominator is 1 times x, which is just x. Okay, so my CD for this is equal to x. This one here already has an x on the bottom, so I don't need to do anything with this. But these two don't, so I need to multiply both tops and bottoms of those terms by x. So I'm just going to put first one here, put in a bracket, and put that there. And this one here, x on the bottom, and x on the top there. And there's a 1 there that the green's gone over. I'm going to tidy it up. So I'm going to get x by x, which is x squared. Okay, 1 times x, or minus 1 times x, which is minus x. I've got the minus 2, and that's all over x. And I'm just going to box that. I'm finished. Next thing I'm going to do is do exactly the same with the red thing here. So let's go to the side. Go over here, I've got x minus 1 over x. Again, I can put this as x over 1, find my common denominator. So my CD here is equal to x. That means I've got to multiply this by x over x. Don't forget to put the brackets in. Okay, and then I'm going to tidy it up. If I do that, I'm going to get x by x on the top, which is x squared minus 1 all over x there. Now that means I put this all over x, you can see here, and I've got this all over x, you can see here, and I'm going to divide them. So I could write it as, if you wanted to, you could write it as x squared minus x minus 2 all over x, and divided by x squared minus 1 all over x. Now, going back to second year, you should remember that if I am going to divide two fractions, all I do is I take the second fraction, which is the one on the bottom, I flip it, and I change it to a multiply sign. So this here means that this is equal to x squared minus x minus 2 all over x multiplied by x over x squared minus 1. So you can see here, I flip this one, x over x squared minus 1, and change it to a multiply sign using the dot notation here. Now we're back to the idea of just multiplying two fractions together, which means that what we try and do in order to simplify it is to factorize everything we can on both top and bottom. Now we've got a quadratic here, and hopefully again, because we've already seen this in this particular video, that this is a difference of two squares. So let's try and sort that out. So we've got x, and we're trying to make minus 2. I think we've done this one as well. It's going to be minus 2 and plus 1 all over x multiplied by x, and this is x plus 1 by x minus 1. Now that it's written in its factors, let's see if there's a few things that are the same on both top and bottom. So we'll have a look here. X minus 2, so there's no x minus 2 here on top and bottom, so that's going to have to stay. We do have x plus 1 here and x plus 1 there, so that's going to factor out. Put a 1 there and a 1 there. And we also, if you have a look, we also have an x on the top here and an x on the bottom, so they'll factor out as well, 1 and 1. And now what we're going to do is just tidy it up. So we'll just come up here, and what we now have is x minus 2 on the top divided by x minus 1 on the bottom. I can't factor these out now. This is completely finished because I can't divide by x because they are not written as multiples. I have x minus 2 or x minus 1. So this has now been fully factorized and fully simplified.